For latest astrology videos, subscribe AstroEdify channel and press this bell icon to get notified when a new video goes live.
Hello everybody, welcome to AstroEdify. Today we are going to talk about the placement of Rahu in Leo and Ketu in Aquarius in anybody's horoscope. So let's start this video. If you want to book a consultation for yourself, you can go on this website. The link is given in the description. So today we are going to talk about the results of Rahu and Ketu in Leo and Aquarius respectively. So before moving on to the discussion about the results today, I want to tell you certain points here which are quite relevant for the understanding. First is here that what are Rahu Ketu itself? What kind of significance they have, what they control, what is their intrinsic nature, how they impact us and control the things around us in the world. If you don't know these things, I have made a video in detail talking about the various implications and results and significance of the placement of the Rahu and Ketu itself as shadow planets. The link of that video is given in the description and it is shown in the card section. You can watch that video in order to understand deeply that what exactly Rahu Ketu are, what do they represent and how do they impact us. That is really important here in order to have a better understanding and grip upon their subjective knowledge. Next thing here is that you must understand one thing, that the analysis and judgment about the placement of Rahu and Ketu is somewhat tricky because Rahu and Ketu do not have their own self-identity. They borrow the identity from the planets, house and zodiac sign and the nakshatra in which they are placed. So you have to consider quite carefully the placement of Rahu and Ketu in the chart along with the planets and their what you can say planetary lords, the Rashi lords or the dispositor in which Rahu and Ketu are sitting, in order to see that how they are going to behave. So that is another point. Then the third point here is that today we are going to discuss in 4 scenarios in terms of results. So there are 2 main scenarios and there are 2 subcategories within each of them. So one is that Rahu, if is stronger than Ketu, then what kind of results can be seen? And second is, if Ketu is stronger than Rahu, then what kind of results can be seen? So Rahu and Ketu, anyone who is stronger than the other one will give results under the dominion of the superior one. So if Rahu is stronger than Ketu, then Ketu will give results under the dominion of Rahu, and Rahu will give more prominent results in the chart and the life of the person, and similarly vice versa case. Then 2 subcategories within each of them will be seen. So if Rahu is stronger than Ketu, then what are the results of good Rahu and bad Rahu? Then second, same Ketu is stronger than Rahu, good Ketu and bad Ketu results, 2 subcase. So we will start with the first main category, that is Rahu is stronger than Ketu. Then what will happen? And within that first subcategory we are going to start now. So first subcategory is that if Sun, Moon and Lagna Lord are well placed and Rahu is getting support from them, good yogas are being formed by these planets in the chart, then Rahu is going to give positive results. But to keep one thing in mind, Rahu in Leo is an enemy sign for Rahu. This is not a very good sign because Sun and Rahu are greatest enemies of each other, and if Rahu does not get proper support from Sun, it can have tremendous capability to create a lot of harm and negative results in life, which we will discuss later on. But at the same time, if it has support from Sun, then Rahu becomes equally capable to give very, very excellent results in life as well. So we are going to see the diversity today in various terms, results and whatnot in terms of placement here. So if Rahu is stronger than Ketu, then what will happen? And first subcase, Sun, Moon and Lagna Lord are strongly placed, giving support to Rahu. Then it makes person extrovert or ambivert because Leo and Rahu are both what? Extroversion. They control the surrounding environment and our public image, the social life. That's what they are. So it makes person extrovert or ambivert. Then highly ambitious, because Leo and Sun, what are they? They are ambitions. And particularly here the person seeks power, authority, status, recognition, fame, respect and high position in life, because that is what Leo and Sun are. They do not control money. It does not mean that person is not bothered and ambitious about attaining money and wealth in life. It's not that. But for them, most of the time, it means that I want to make something of my own self. People should know me. I want my own independence. I won't want to make my own identity in life. That is the main key factor of ambition in this case. So high ambition seek power, authority, status, reputation, respect and high position in life. It gives self-confidence to the person. However, there can be some initial self-doubt and nervousness sometimes. Because Rahu is what? Rahu is confusion. Rahu is dilemma. Rahu is the planet which eclipses sun. So it can create certain initial self-doubt and nervousness or lack of self-confidence sometimes, but it goes away. How? With practice, with life experiences, with constant, what you can say, learning through failure sometimes in life. That's how person becomes self-confident. So ultimately, if Rahu is well placed and moon and sun are well placed and giving support to Rahu, it is not going to diminish your self-confidence. It can create certain nervousness or initial self-doubt, but it goes away with time and ultimately person becomes self-confident. That can be seen. One more thing is that sun is the controller of your self-identity, what you think of your own self and what your personality is. That is what sun is. So if Rahu is in this sign, it gives, and of course, you have to see the condition of sun. So we are talking about the case where sun is strongly placed. Then it gives a balanced self-identity. Means there will be a balance between the influence of societal opinions and validation and own self-worth through self-introspection. Means there are 2 points in which the person thinks. So one is, what do you think of your own self as a person? Means what is your own self-worth to you through your own self-introspection, and what do you see for yourself as the other people think of you. So influence of societal opinions and validation, both are these two factors, or what you can say parameters to judge yourself. So it gives the balanced approach here to the person. Means the person does not, what you can say, totally depends on the societal opinions and validations all the time. Rather they have that what you can say mental strength or capability to bring analysis of their own self-worth and judge themselves through self-introspection also. We are not going to always portray and imagine yourself and maintain or make your self-identity from the eyes of other people all the time. That is what good Rahu gives. We will talk about bad Rahu later on. Apart from that, it enhances, it gives, what you can say, charm in personality. Because what is Rahu and Leo? Attraction. So I'm not talking about beauty. It can be beauty, but it means some personality attraction or some trait in the person which attracts people. Okay. So that charm, that attraction, that charisma can be seen. It also makes person dominating, assertive, controlling, because that's what sun is. Sun is the ruler, is the king. So what does king do? It dominates. It rules the kingdom. That is what the nature of sun is. So that's why these certain traits in personality will be there. So you have to see the placement of other planets, of course. It depends. The intensity depends. But these things can be seen. So some domination, some assertive nature, controlling nature can be seen. It gives good leadership skill, bold, firm and stubborn attitude. But in good sense. Means a person is motivated and firm about what they want in life. They are clear about their ambitions. They are clear about their goals and aims in life. So a person, it not only gives high ambitions to people, it gives equal caliber and capability to work hard and with dedication and commitment and achieve the goals. It's not merely wild high desires and ambitions to become something in life and not doing anything. It's not like that. It's like that you have desires, you have ambitions, and at the same time it gives dedication, commitment, strong will, courage, competitive spirit, hardworking nature in order to materialize those ambitions and goals realistically in life. That can be seen. Another thing, it makes person self-made. Even though if you are born in a very good family, you are born in an influential family, then too there is an intrinsic strong urge and desire to be self-made. I want to be known by myself. I don't want to be known by my family, by my father or by any other means. I want to be something as an individual. People should know me because of me, not because of the things which I have in my life. That kind of mentality Rahu gives here, if it is good. Then next thing, it gives, it is very excellent placement for good material progress and success. But you have to see the other combinations. It's not the case every time. You have to see other yugas in the chart, good 10th lord, 11th lord, 2nd lord, 11th lord, they should be well placed. Then only we can say that, okay, yes, person is going to attain good material progress and will be successful in their lives quite at a quite good level. Then at the same time, see, Rahu inflates certain things, it expands, and Leo and Sun are ego. So it can bring some what you can say dominance of ego in this case. I will not say that a person is going to display their ego all the time, that they are very displaying their pride to everybody, not like that. Humility can be there depending on the sun placement, but the main thing is that ego means that what do you associate with, what do you think of yourself as a person. So do you think that means all the false identification here will be high with the material world. It means that ego means your true identity, your identification with yourself. That is what ego is. So if you think about your own self like I am a person, my name is this, I belong to this family, I have this I have this nationality, this religion, this culture, this ethnicity, this background, this career, this education. These are the things with which we associate ourselves, and we think that these are the things are making our own identity, but these are not. These are superficial, superimposed identities which are relative, which we have got when we are born. We do not know that what we were in previous lives. We do not know what we are going to be in the next life. We only know that, okay, these are the things which have been there in my life right now, and I am thinking that, okay, these are the things which make me me. But actually the person is not able to realize that what they truly are. The true nature is of Atma. The true nature is of pure existence, consciousness and bliss. That is not seen here. Even if the person knows these things, even if he knows Vedanta and higher spiritual knowledge and all that, then too, Rahu, if it is strong, it will create high level of false identification with Maya. Even if you know these higher statements of truth and theory and philosophies, despite that, you will not be able to apply it in your life in order to live it. That can be seen. Or otherwise, if these combinations are not there, then the person does not have that kind of inclination at all. So they are more driven towards material accomplishments. And I'm not saying that it is bad. But if we talk about some higher purpose, some higher things in life, which matter more than this, then at that perspective, at that level, this Rahu does not promote growth. That's what I am trying to say here. Next thing is that since Sun and Rahu are enemies to each other, there is a possibility, you have to see other combinations, but there is a possibility that person can face some allegations, some controversies which bring certain loss of reputation or blot on public image temporarily. It can be seen, but you have to see the combinations. But it will be temporary. Ultimately it will go away and person will regain their reputation and status if Rahu is well placed. If not, then we'll talk about it later on. Next thing, Leo and Sun are what? Regality, royalty. So it brings a regal taste in everything in life. Person does not want to settle for less. What they have thought, even if it is going to be quite expensive or quite, what you can say, exquisite, they are going to what you can say, want that and pursue that thing to gain it in their lives, are not going to settle for less. It can be seen. It can be in terms of anything, whether it is clothes, food, living, cars, vehicles, home, travel, all luxuries, wealth, pleasures, anything. I want the best. That is what Sun is. I want the best. If I want to wear a watch, I'm not going to settle for a common watch. I want a Rolex. I want a Rado. I want a very good one, the best one out there. And that kind of thing can be seen. So that is what Rahu and Leo are actually. But at the same time, if good combinations are there, this placement of Rahu has tremendous capability to give high success and even legendary status in life. Of course, it is an extraordinary situation which is rare, not seen in most of the cases, but it is a full capability. If yogas are there, Rahu can give this. Best example, Amitabh Bachchan has this in the 7th house, Rahu in Magha in Leo, and Joe Biden. He is the new president of America. and he has Rahu in 10th house in Leo in Magha. Magha itself, Rahu in Magha is excellent if for gaining high position and legendary status, because Magha itself is throne, the highest possible throne available out there in the world. That is what Magha is. So Joe Biden got that highest position of president. There is nothing higher than that. So he got that, and he has Rahu in the 10th house of career in Leo in Magha. So these are the two examples which I am thinking of right now for a good Rahu trait in this Leo zodiac sign. Okay. Next thing, it makes person creative, artistic, and innovative. Leo and Sun are your father, and you have to see the 9th house. If Sun and 9th house are well placed, then father becomes a source of information and learning. Father can be well known, also powerful in government or management or administration or teaching sector, but person benefits through father's image and contacts and resources in life. That can be seen. It is a very good position for that. Then Leo and Sun are government, so it can give gains through government if you are law abiding, because Rahu is the breaker of law. So if you are law abiding, follower of the dharma, then it can show gains through government, and at the same time, in respect of money or honor, both. Person can get honor by government, like some awards and all those things, or some other kind of recognition. Even at workplace also, not only by government, even at workplace. Means government does not mean that, okay, your national government is going to give you something. It can show that, okay, you are going to get something from higher authorities, or your at your workplace also. That can be seen. Or monetary benefit also can be seen from the government. Then at the same time, Leo, 5th house and 9th house, you have to check this. And if they are well placed, they represent Purva Punya, means the merits of the past life, the good karma of the past life, which the benefits of which the person reaps in the form of some skill and knowledge in this life. The prarabdha bhagya is going to be good, and it gives success in life. It gives certain skill and knowledge which is coming from the past life as a talent within you. It can be seen, but you have to check 5th house, 9th house, and Sun Rahu must be well placed. Then you can say that, okay, yes, this is possible. But it is a very well placement for this. So these are the first, this is the completion of the first case, that is if Rahu is good. Now the second subcategory, that if Sun, Moon and Lagna Lord are badly placed. Rahu, Sun, Moon, Lagna Lord are making negative combinations, malefic yogas, and they are afflicted, and they are becoming highly malefic in the chart. Then now, as I said, that it is an enemy sign for Rahu, and Rahu has full capability to bring negative results and traits in personality and in life, in the for the person. So you have to check this. As I said, don't jump to conclusions. You have to check this quite carefully. So if Sun, Moon, Lagna Lord are badly placed and Rahu is becoming a malefic, and now it is going to create problems and bad results, like it can increase egomania. It can give egomania, not increase. It can give egomania. Person who is so egotistical that they are self-obsessed, and they do not think and value any other person in their lives. So egomania, arrogance, sheer arrogance, inferiority or superiority complex, both can be seen. Either very high self-esteem or no self-esteem at all, that can be seen. Desperate need to seek validation of others. You do not have your own self-identity. Now the point, because as I said, Sun is your identity, Rahu is confusion. If Rahu has support from Sun, then the person has balanced self-identity, as I discussed. But if Rahu is badly placed and Sun is in this sign, Sun is badly placed and Rahu is in this sign, then what will happen? That the self-identity will be lost, and Rahu, Leo and Sun, they control your persona. Persona means that image, that what you can say, that face which you wear in terms of in front of the society. That is not you really, but you are just portraying yourself as a different person in front of other people. That is your persona. Now Rahu will create dilemma, and the person can mistake their persona as the true self-identity, and this becomes a really disastrous situation. That persona is never real. it can never be your self-identity. But if this happens, then what will happen? Person will lose their touch with their own intrinsic self-worth, and there will be no realistic self-introspection and self-identity based upon it. Rather, you will mistake self-identity for your mistake persona for your self-identity, and what will happen? That now you don't know who you really are. You end up in utter confusion, and you don't know that what you really are. And you live only in a persona where you are constantly making yourself, twisting yourself, changing yourself based upon the validation and opinion of other people. That can be seen. Excessive show off, manipulation, easily influenced by other people, self-obsession, follow mass trends easily, excessive attention seeking attitude, unnecessary moaning and groaning of things and complaining about the things unnecessarily. Nothing is wrong, still you are complaining in order to get what? Attention from people. Can be seen. Selfish nature, excessively selfish nature, because Rahu and Sun, if negative, they increase selfishness to extreme. So selfish behavior can be seen. People who are attracted just see now this is another point. Now what will happen? Since you do not know who you really are, you will never be, and you are associated only with your persona. Now what will happen? That you will never be able to see other people also truly. So you will only be attracted by other people's persona only, not their real self-worth. That's the problem. So it can give a poor judgment of character or people in general, and you are only attracted by the superficial things which the person associates with. Okay, so let's suppose in relationships, people are attracted by the physical beauty, or their money, their wealth, their high status, power position. These are the things. They matter. I'm not complaining about this. The main thing is that if you are serious about some meaningful relationship in life, then what matters is genuine intellectual, emotional compatibility and match between the personalities. That is what matters for the survival of a meaningful relationship. But if these are the things, what I said, the emphasis is on these things only, then what will happen? These will become the main primary factors or parameters for taking decisions in life, and ultimately there is no long-term survival of anything. I am just talking about relationship as an example, but it can be for anything. Even for career also it can be seen. So this kind of attitude can be given by Rahu. You have to be careful of this if it is there. Another thing is that person desperately tries to maintain their fake image in society, because what is your fake image? Your persona. That is what your fake image is. You are not really that, but you are trying to portray something which you are not. But since you do not know who you really are, then what will happen? That you will consider your fake image as the real image, and since it is constantly changing based on the opinions of other people, then what will happen? It will change. It will not be stable. It will always be unstable. So desperate try to maintain, effort to maintain the image in society can be seen, whether it is money wise, behavior wise, profession wise, anything. People who do not have money, who are not rich, but they are portraying to be very rich and living lavish lifestyle. Most of the time it can be seen on Instagram. Then another point here is that people who in behavior terms, like a person who is very aggressive and always full of anger, but he's trying to be portraying very cool and calm in front of people. That can be seen. A person who is very egoistic in real life, but they are trying to be portraying as a very modest and their fake humility in front of people. That can be seen. That is what? That is your fake image in society. So this kind of behavior pattern can be generated in this case. Another thing here is that Leo, Rahu and Sun are ego identification. I said ego does not mean pride. Ego means identification with your own self, what you think of yourself. So what happens here is that extreme false identification to feel powerful and worthiness through other people can be seen. What do I mean by this? That if Rahu was good, as I said, person is going to have that kind of urge and desire that no matter what, I want to make something of my own. I want my own self-image in the society. I do not want to be known only by my family or other people in my lives. I want to be known by my own efforts, by my own skills. That is what mentality is given by Rahu, if it is good. But if it is not good, what will happen? That you are going to associate and borrow your self-identification from other people. Let's suppose your father is very powerful and rich. So what will happen? That you will always be promoting that, okay, do you know who my father is? Do you know which family I belong to? That kind of bad behavior can be seen. So extreme false identification. You do not have your own self-identity, so you are borrowing self-identity and a effort or feeling of powerfulness through your father's status. That is what I am talking about. It can be seen. So this kind of behavior or personality can be given by Rahu if it is negative. Another point, misdirection in career and aims due to attraction for end result and other people's success. You do not know what you want to do, but other person is going somewhere and they are successful there. So you think, okay, I should do that. People in India here, they can go for certain government exams. Like UPSC is a very coveted exam where people are competing for higher post in administration. But and it is a very coveted post because why? Because it brings a lot of power with it. So whether you are really serious about the job or whether you are only going there because of the things associated with the power, the status, the societal value among the people, that fame, that reputation, that status which I am going to get, you are attracted to it, or you genuinely have certain other clear-cut desires and aims in order to pursue that sector. That is what I am talking about. So misdirection in career and aims. Either you are not clear what you want to do, or you go into wrong directions where even if you put efforts, you are not going to get anything. So that can be seen. Then it can make person control freak, excessively dominating, possessive. It can increase greed and sycophancy. One more thing, it can give either overconfidence or no self-confidence at all. Depends on the placement of sun. Then Rahu in this case can bring initial success, but if it is badly placed, then it is certain that sudden downfall permanently will come with a loss of reputation. And ego shattering, breaking of ego is fixed and inevitable. It is a guaranteed condition in this case. If Rahu is badly placed, then ego shattering, because ultimately Sun and Rahu are enemies. So Rahu is going to break Sun's house here. What will happen? It will destroy the ego. So it will inflate the ego. That is the nature of Rahu. How Rahu destroys, it will increase and inflate it so much that ultimately it will burst away. That's the problem. So ego is going to shatter inevitably, ultimately, no matter what. It is a guaranteed situation. You have to understand the gravity of the situation in this case, because the more negative result, the higher the ego, the deeper the problem is going to be, the what you can say, the more hurtful result is going to give in the life, the more disappointing result is going to give in life. That depends on the intensity of the ego itself. However, it makes person quite insecure about their public image, and it gives high self-deception or self-denial. It can bring vindictive, jealous, rumor-mongering, power-hungry, two-faced attitude, ignorant mindset, excessive anger and aggression, and very fragile ego. Person who is easily offended due to fragile ego. Blindly materialistic and abuse of power and resources can be seen. Then bad relationships with father, teachers, children, even what you can say, love relationships also, or marriage. Certain problems there can be seen, but one thing is fixed. If Rahu is here, maybe it can be the problem from the other person also, but one thing, if you are facing this problem because of Rahu, let's suppose Rahu is in 5th house or 7th house, and you are experiencing these problems, one thing is for sure, that you are also responsible for problems in the life. Other person can be, but you are for sure. Why? Because of Sun and Leo, because they are enemies. So It can increase selfish ulterior motives and self-gain. You expect other people, expectations, you have expectations for yourself from other people, but you do not pay heed to the expectations of others from you in the relations. That is what the person should think about and ponder upon and work upon if you are facing these problems. Then there will be no value of others or only exploitation. Sometimes if Rahu is really negative, and you have to see the other planetary alignments for relationship and marriage, of course. However, it can also create poor or no education depending on 5th house, 9th house, Jupiter and Mercury situation, and wrong use of knowledge. It can bring affinity for bad company and habits, any kind of addictions, like whether it is substance abuse or gambling, because 5th house and Leo controls gambling, speculation. Sun and Leo are father, and see the 9th house also. If they are not well placed, then what will happen? Either it can give poor health of father, early death of father, or absent father, or bad relationship with father. Then problems and punishment from the government can be seen, or at the workplace from senior authorities can be seen. And now the last thing is Purva Papa result. As I said, if Rahu is well placed, then 5th house, 9th house, Leo control Purva Punya, means good deeds of the past life. Same thing, it can control bad deeds of the past life. So if it controls Purva Punya, it can control Purva Papa, means bad deeds or demerits of the past life which are going to come in this life no matter what, and you are going to face them. That can be seen. So this is the result of Rahu. If is stronger than Ketu, then what will happen? Now let's talk about the second case, second category. If Ketu is stronger than Rahu, then what will be the results? And in this case, first subcategory, if Saturn, Moon and Lagna Lord are well placed, then what will happen? So if Ketu is stronger than Rahu and Saturn, Moon and Lagna Lord are well placed, then Ketu has full capability to bring quite good results in life. And if the results which we are going to talk about, you can see the diversity, and they are polar opposite in terms with what we have discussed with Rahu placement, if Rahu is stronger than Ketu. So if Ketu is stronger than Rahu and Saturn, Moon and Lagna Lord are well placed, then what will happen? It makes person introvert, reserved, eccentric, very curious, isolation loving, serious, mature, give deep insightful thinking, intuitiveness, innovation, makes person logical, rational, practical, skeptical, analytical, high affinity and what you can say inclination towards mysterious subjects and things, creative, scientific, tech savvy. A person who is deep conceptual thinker, means they have fundamental understanding and they of complex subjects and things, and at the same time pattern seeking ability also, that intuitiveness that I'm talking about. So deep conceptual thinkers can be seen with this placement. It brings Ketu and Saturn and Aquarius, if they are well placed, then it brings a sense of inner emptiness, which promotes more inclination towards self-knowledge and at the same time desire to know one's own true self, own reality, higher reality, how universe works, or who am I really. That thought is given by Ketu in this case, if it is well placed. So it can make person philosophical, spiritual, and can give interest in occult sciences. It can give keen observation and research ability. It can also show intuitive skills, means intuition power of intuition, especially in 3rd, 8th, 9th and 12th house if it is there, and you have to see other combinations. It cannot be seen every time. I'm talking about that 6th sense, extra sensory perception, that intuition in terms of dreams or spirits or psychic experiences or any other omens or any other forms. It can be seen here, but you have to see the yogas. Depending on Jupiter, Mercury, Saturn well placement and Ketu in this sign, it can give high intelligence and knowledge way ahead of one's time. It is a very rare situation, not seen most of the cases, but Ketu has full capacity to give this kind of result. That's why I'm telling here. It can promote and give unorthodox, open-minded, ultra-modern thinking, which sometimes can be considered as a taboo by society, or it becomes quite uneasy to accept by society. It can be seen. So certain viewpoints or ideas which are hard to digest by the contemporary society sometimes can be seen here. It brings out of the box thinking. Then if good spiritual yogas are happening in the chart, then it gives emptiness. If good spiritual yogas are there, then person feels constant existential angst, emptiness, longing to know one's own self, the higher reality. What is reality itself? There must be something higher than this material world. That thought is penetrated by Ketu in the mind. Then dissatisfaction, disinterest towards materialism can be seen. Longing for liberation, detachment and renunciation can be seen. It is a very excellent situation for Raj Yoga and Jnana Yoga. And one very good example, if I talk about, I do not know that whether I do not know about the real horoscope, but as an example, I want to quote here Chandragupta Maurya. He was a ancient Indian king of Maurya dynasty. He was the founder of Maurya dynasty. You might have heard about Emperor Ashoka. He was the grandfather of Emperor Ashoka. He was the founder of Maurya Vansha, Maurya dynasty. So Chandragupta Maurya, we do not know about the horoscope of Chandragupta Maurya, but his life reflects a perfect culmination of good Rahu and Ketu in Leo and Aquarius, because a good Rahu in Leo, he became the emperor from nothing. He was just a small village boy who was living an impoverished life. He was not from some wealthy regal royal family. And he fought and became the emperor on his own. So Rahu in Leo gave that kind of, is giving that kind of what? High authority and power. What can be greater than king? And the next thing is, later on, he left and renounced he left his all empire, all emperorship, and renounced to become a Jain monk. He became that. So I do not know for sure that whether Chandragupta Maurya had that placement of Rahu Ketu here, but his life reflects this perfectly. The combination of Rahu Ketu, result of Rahu Ketu in Leo and Aquarius. So this kind of thing can be seen. And next thing, if Ketu is well placed, then life experiences bring big personality transformations in your life, because Ketu always gives and promotes knowledge and realization which breaks the false ego. Who is in front of Ketu? Rahu in Leo. Leo is false ego. So realization of infinity away from small individuality breaks up your bubble. It bursts your bubble. It tries to motivate you to pursue the higher reality. That is what Ketu is. Okay. These are the very good results of Ketu in Aquarius. Now, the last thing, if moon, last category, second category in this second main category, second subcategory is if moon, Saturn and Lagna Lord are badly placed and Ketu is in the sign of Aquarius and not getting any support and itself is malefic and it's making negative combinations, then it induces high fear, anxiety, attachment, phobia, paranoia, distrust with everybody in life, personality disorders, all kind of mental, psychological, neurological, cardiovascular diseases and problems can be seen with this. High confusion, lethargy, indolence, always person procrastinates, seeks shortcuts, do not want to do anything, that can be seen. Okay, we talk about mad scientist. It can be given by there, because what is Ketu in Aquarius? It is rational scientific thinking, research and all that. So sometimes you obsess, because what is obsession? Rahu. So you obsess with certain, you might be very skillful and deeply talented and knowledgeable about one subject, but you obsess with that so much sometimes that it becomes a cause for mental distress to you. So when we talk about mad scientists, like in movies and other what you can say entertainment sectors, a cliched concept that can be seen with Ketu in Aquarius. So over obsession about certain thing which you might have the knowledge, but excessive over obsession gives you mental problems. The next thing here is that this is a very, very important point, and one must every time, specifically Rahu Ketu here, this is a fixed thing which every person will face, no matter what. How they are going to react, that matters. So what they will face here is that overwhelming, anytime in life it can be seen, but this is important. overwhelming sense or feeling of existential crisis or angst, and feeling of powerlessness, insignificance, helplessness in life due to certain circumstances and incidents can be felt, and which tears down your false ego identification, your entire belief systems of reality and yourself so suddenly, and they push you as a person into total state of chaos and unknown, where you lose your entire worldview, your entire belief system, and your whole personality. This can be seen that immediately everything which you thought that this is real, everything comes into a big question. That what is real? Whether I am real, whether this world is real, what's happening? I have never felt so insignificant, powerless, and helpless in my life that and my entire belief systems have collapsed. My entire personality is vanishing out. That kind of feeling Rahu and Ketu give by giving sudden life incidents of any kind, which can trigger this. But what matters is that if other planets are good, Sun, Moon, Lagna, Lord, Saturn, they are well placed, then what will happen? That person will stay calm and they will analyze, self-introspect, see their capabilities, recognize what they truly are, and they will come out as a new transformed individual who is more wise, more practical, and more clear about the reality. That is the positive result. But if there is the negativity, means if the person is staying in that negative persona, does not have any clue about what they really are, then what will happen? That it is going to give negative transformation of personality, means it can bring insanity or all severe mental, emotional, psychological disorders or suffering and pain and self-denial. Excessive self-denial can be seen, and it enhances, this is another result which is very important, enhances anguish and nihilistic traits. Meaninglessness is everything. If negative Rahu and Ketu are. Ketu and Aquarius are mass destruction. Ketu is a destructive planet, violence. So what it shows here is that destruction of your personality, because that is what Leo is. So the thing is, mass destruction, thinking of mass destruction due to, there can be a thought, I'm just talking about this. This is a very, what you can say, important result whose intensity can vary a lot. It can be seen in common people at a smaller scale, or it can be seen in certain extraordinary bad situations which are not seen very quite often. But since there have been these cases, so astrology must define it. So the thing here is that if negative Rahu and Ketu are there, then what will happen? The person will have the thinking for mass destruction because of excessive anguish, nihilistic traits, and due to generation of resentment, bitterness, and arrogance, and no ego at all. And after collapse of false ego, and what will happen? Person wants to destroy the very structure of existence by taking revenge on the existence in the fastest and most unfair possible manner. Example, terrorists, mass murderers, mass shooters. We have seen many cases, specifically in America or in Europe, where mass shooting sprees have happened. Terrorists are, on the other hand, playing their roles. These people are not insane. If you think that they are insane, no, they are not insane. They are totally sane. But what they have is this problem. They have this kind of distorted, negative, bad personality, which is giving this kind of behavior within them. That's the thing. Or it can show people who cripple you through manipulation. Sadism can be seen. Sadism is very, very common. It can be seen in most of the people. People might not accept. Sadist never accept he is a sadist. But the thing is that sadism can be seen with this. And it is a low level result. Sadism is the low level result, and terrorism and mass murderer is the high level result. It is extreme. We do not see with these things quite often. But we can see sadist most of the time. But you have to check the horoscope. Again, I am re-emphasizing. Always see the horoscope. Don't jump to conclusions, because I am talking about all the possibilities here. all permutations, combinations. One very good example of this is Joker of Batman. So Joker fits perfectly with this Ketu in Aquarius. Fits perfectly with the things which I told you. Then last point here, career. So there are certain, if Rahu and Ketu are responsible for career, then there are certain fields which are good here for career paths, like politics, government, management, administration, leadership, defense sector, police, law, judiciary, media, journalism, mass communication, social work, history, archaeology, teaching, education sector, all the STEM fields, science, technology, engineering, management fields. We can see researchers, inventors, scientists with this, designing sector of all kinds, transportation, supply chain, commerce, e-commerce, healthcare, medicine, music, entertainment, acting, arts, marketing, advertising, hospitality, travel, tourism, photography, filmmaking, liquor business, occult science of all kinds, yoga, philosophers. These are very good areas for career fields. And if you have to see the bad combination, there must be bad combinations for this, but I'm just talking about, treat it as a source of information. It can also show negative career paths also, like people who are smugglers, mobsters, weapon arms dealers, drugs or human traffickers, prostitution, pornography, terrorism, assassins, dirty politicians or mafias. They can also be seen with this, of course, but you have to check the horoscope. I'm just giving you information, just nothing more than that. So you just have to see the entire chart and then come to a conclusion. Again, as I said, that the analysis of Rahu and Ketu is certainly tricky. You have to see various points and then come to a proper conclusion. Okay, that's the main thing. So I think that we have discussed many things today in deep detail. So you would have understood by now what kind of behavior Rahu and Ketu can give in Leo and Aquarius respectively. So if you are new to my channel, subscribe below, and for more, check on my website and Facebook page. Otherwise, we will meet in the next video. Till then, goodbye and thank you.